Hi friends, I am driving home from work. It's Wednesday. I try to get out of there as early as I can on Wednesdays because my daughter and I go to Bible class. Well, she goes most times. Sometimes I don't go. I'll run an errand or something, mostly because if I sit down and once I sit down I fall asleep. Last night I was falling asleep at 6 o'clock, but I got stuff for dinner and ate dinner, and then I try to put my ankle up, to get the swelling down, and that's it. I fall asleep. It's so frustrating. But anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit on this drive chat about what it means to be self-righteous. And I'll tell you why I think about that subject lately now. I have 4 children. My youngest will be an adult very soon, so mostly I have 4 adult children. So one of mine told me that he doesn't want a relationship anymore with me, and which, it's kind of been a distant relationship anyway for a while. I would text him, say how he's doing, and he would respond and say he's fine and stuff like that, but I could always tell. So anyway, when he told me that, because he's actually in another country, so I was just messaging him, and I was saying, hey, how you doing and stuff, and he says, I don't want to talk to you or have a relationship with you until you go to therapy. And I'm thinking, okay. And so I thought, well, I'm not really sure how to respond to that. And do I really want to know what he wants to say to me too? Because once you open that door, be careful what you ask. Because once you ask, they may just tell you. So I asked, well, what do you think I need to go to therapy for? And he's told me I was the most self-righteous person he knew, and he didn't want to talk to me or have a relationship. And so I just text back that I'm sorry he felt that way and that I loved him and I would leave it up to him. So, and then you start evaluating, okay, why does he think I'm self-righteous? Am I self-righteous? And what do I do? What have I done? What have I said? And I can go through all of that, and I don't know what the answers are. And even if I went to therapy to try and hash it all out, I don't know what that would do either, except maybe to appease him. But honestly, I don't have whatever it costs, $200, go talk to somebody for an hour. So I evaluate how I am, and I don't want to be self-righteous. I don't think I am better than anybody else. I believe I need the grace of God just as much as anybody else does. And so I don't know, it's just a hard thing to hear about somebody say about you. And yeah. So I thought I'd put it out there and see what do you think it means to be a self-righteous person? How can we be righteous without appearing self-righteous? I think that's the question I want answered. All my life, I've always tried to do the right thing. And maybe it's always been, too, I'm trying to please somebody by doing the right thing. All my parents had to do is tell me that I disappointed them, and that killed me. There didn't need to be any other punishment but that word disappointment. And, I'm always afraid of making mistakes. I think fear of making mistakes keeps me from doing so many things. So I want to do the right thing, but then in doing the right thing, do I appear self-righteous to other people? So then you think, well, maybe I should just become a bad person. would he love me more? Would my son love me more if I were a bad person? And I don't know what a bad person is in his eyes, but maybe, I don't know, I don't know. You know, don't go to church all the time, which I don't always go to church every single Sunday. I am pretty faithful about it, and I think that it's not about being self-righteous about that. I was raised that way. We all went to church Sunday morning, Sunday night, and Wednesday night. And when I went on my own in college, I did that. I still did that. And, you know, I got married to somebody who went to church. So that's just what we did. When I went through my divorce, it was very hard to keep going. And I really didn't want to go anymore. Not because I didn't love God or anything. I didn't think God was with me. I knew God was the only reason I survived. I know that. But I didn't really feel I needed to be in a church setting all the time. Because it was emotional for me. I would cry every time. And I hated it. But I had 4 children. And I thought they need to see the faithfulness of it. And so we went all the time. And, you know, you have your friends that you see, and so I have friends that I like to talk to and encourage. And so anyway, I don't know if it makes me self-righteous because I go to church versus somebody who has a relationship with God who doesn't go to church. I don't know. I guess I just struggle now trying to figure out what about me made him say that. So anyway, and then I think, well, do I judge people as I see them? And I think, you know, I'm sure I do. I don't know. Just something I'm struggling with, and I thought I'd share it on this little journey of mine. So anyway, I just pray about it. I pray for my son. I pray for all my children. And so I'm just going to leave it at that. I got to just give it to God, because if I worry about it and stress about it, then it will just upset me. I got my Sonic drink. Somebody told me to get the Sonic app so I could order before I get there. And so I did that, because this one Sonic that's on my way home is so stinking slow. I sit there for 30 minutes and I think I could have been halfway home. So I did the app thing, and it worked. And you get half-price drinks all the time, I think, with the app. So that's nice. So the app for Sonic, that will be a good thing to have probably when I'm traveling too. And so, you know, sometimes I don't know what I want to talk about. You know, finding joy through serving can happen anytime in my life. I need to focus on serving and not focus on what it means to be self-righteous. But I certainly don't want to appear self-righteous to people. I really don't. I just want to do the right thing. I don't know. I love God, and I just want to please Him. So in pleasing Him, I want to serve others. Anyway, I guess I would struggle with that all the time. So let's get back to serving others. The bookmarks that I haven't posted that video. I did a quick video Monday after school before I even started driving. I showed you some bookmarks, and I talk about a group that I have on Mondays. I have a small group of girls, I think 8 of them. And we're just supposed to, I don't know what we're supposed to do, but it's just like a encouragement thing. So, of course, my thought for them is let's serve each other. Let's find ways to serve each other. And we've shared either ways that we've served or observations of people serving. And so I had them color like 4 bookmarks, and we glued it to some heavier paper to put a mat around it. And I asked them to give it to 4 different people. And then I was at Dollar General buying some colored pencils and markers for us so we could color. And they had some butterfly cards that were really pretty. And I thought, I don't need any cards. You were going to use the cards that you have at home, remember? And I think, well, it's 6 cards for $1 though. That's a good deal. And then I thought, okay, go ahead and get them and give one to each of the girls that you have. And have them give the card to somebody this week. Okay, so we did that. So I actually bought 3 packs because there was 6 in each. So I'm taking a pack home. I left a pack at school, and then I had handed some out. So we'll see next Monday. I see them again on Monday, so I'll ask them who they gave the card to or what they did with it. And I just want to encourage them, to reach out and be kind to other people. And then I also told them to think of a gift that we can make, because we need to get started on it for Christmas to give away to somebody. And so I'm trying to get that idea going so we can start working on something, because I only see them on Mondays and it's only for like 20 minutes. So whatever we do, we need to get started. So the bookmarks that I made, I colored 4 as well. And I was trying to think, who do I give them to? Because, they're long, so you can't really mail them in a card. Or you could mail them in a long envelope with some pretty paper, I suppose. But, let's see. So, I thought I'm just going to put them in some boxes at work. We have our teacher boxes. Now, I don't know everybody. And I'm new, so I don't know names. Students will talk about teachers, and I have no idea, So I went to the boxes, and I know a few people. I have one teacher that comes into one of my classes because she helps some of the other students that need help, which is so nice. Anyway, that is a wonderful thing they do at that school. So she comes in for some of those classes, or she's in the same class every other day, and we're on block schedule. Okay, so I put one in her box, and I was trying to think of something to write on the back of them, but I never could think of anything. I thought, you know what, just give the bookmark away. And so I put one in her box because I kind of know her, and I didn't sign it. I didn't want them to know it was from me or anything like that. So, and then there was another teacher, I'm kind of familiar with her name, so I put that one in her box. And then I think I knew one of the math teacher's names because she teaches physics. So I think I put one in her box, so I'm not really sure. And then the other one, I just chose another one. I didn't even know who it was. So I put those away. All right, I gave those away. So that's been done. Okay, I still have not bought the book of stamps for the cards. So I need to do. I'm just not at the grocery store very much, or a post office. By the time I'm out, post offices are closed. And I do pass one, but by the time I get there, it's closed. So I'll get some this weekend. My daughter and I will be out. We are heading to Florida a week from this Saturday, and so I'm excited. We're going to do some senior pictures on the beach. So we've been looking at ideas. We're going to get her a couple outfits or something to wear. Anyway, so that's kind of fun. And I'll share that journey. I know that's not like living in the van type of journey, but this is my journey of, this is my journey and how I'm going to get to what I hope to be, being on the road more than I am, to find people to serve. Okay, so let's see. Sunday, we had a speaker come to our church, and he spoke at 3 o'clock on Sunday. He also preached that morning and did the adult Bible class. But he spoke at 3 o'clock, and I had invited my forensics class to come and listen to him for extra credit if they wanted to, because he was speaking about the grace of God, and does God's grace, is it enough to forgive a serial killer? And he is the man who baptized Jeffrey Dahmer. And I don't know if you know, usually the older of us know who that is. We know he was a serial killer. And of course, I knew his name. I knew he was a serial killer. That's about all I knew. And I'm teaching forensics, so of course we did research on him, and we talked all about him and what he did, because I really wanted them to go listen to this speaker. Well, I had one student show up with her mom. So there we go, 1 out of 20. So, I actually live like an hour from the school, so it's a long drive for them, if you know. Okay, so we listened to that, and that's probably a topic for another drive chat. Does God's grace extend to somebody like a serial killer? And, you know, I think a human part of us would like to think, no, there's no way, because it's so evil and so bad, you know. But then to me, I'm thinking, you know, you talk about being self-righteous, and are we being self-righteous if we say stuff like that? And I would think we are. So, sin is sin in God's eyes. I don't think it matters what we do, whether it's lying or killing someone. It's still sin, and it separates us from God. So, yeah, in order to be not separated from God, we need to be forgiven and have God's grace. So, I'm definitely not going to say it doesn't extend to a serial killer. Okay, so my one student came with her mom. I'm trying to get to what I did with my card, you know, with the butterflies. And so the mom asked if my daughter and I wanted to go out to eat with them after the speaker. And I said, yeah, that's fine. And I figured that's fine. I had money. You could go out to eat, you know. If I don't have money, then I'll tell people, no, we can't go. But I knew I could pay for it. So anyway, we go out to eat, and she pays for it. And, you know, it's one of those, you know, you just don't fight with people when they offer to pay. They're trying to bless you. And I think we have gotten into the habit where we say, no, don't pay for mine. I'm going to pay for it. No. If somebody offers, you say thank you. And so we did. We said thank you. And so my card, I thanked her that night, but I thought, you know what? I'm going to give her a card. And because my craft show did not go very well, I have a lot of those bowls. So I asked her daughter the next day, I said, what's your mom's favorite color? And she told me. And so I had a bowl in that color, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to give her a bowl and some scrubbies and a dishcloth and put a card in it and give it to her. And so that's what I did with my card. I put the bowl and a dishcloth, scrubbies in a bag, and put the card in there, thanking her again for her kindness. And it was nice to visit with her. And she had adopted her daughter and another girl as well, but the daughter that I have. And it's just her and this girl now, and the older daughter is older, in her 20s, so she doesn't live at home anymore. But anyway, it was just nice. It was a nice kindness given to me. And so that's where I sent my butterfly card to her. So I've done one card so far, even though I didn't use a stamp. And so anyway, I don't want to talk the whole way home, because that would be too long of a video. Let's see. Oh, we're going on 20 minutes, so I'm going to cut this off. It helps keep me awake, that's for sure. So some days I have a hard time staying awake. So just to kind of sum up, being self-righteous. If you have any ideas about it, or how can we be righteous without giving the appearance of being self-righteous? Or do we appear self-righteous to others because they might feel guilty for things that they're not doing? I don't know. I do know the type of temperament my son is. If you study temperaments, that's huge. There are 4 different temperaments, and when you learn the temperament that you are and that your children are, it kind of explains a lot of their behavior. And so, because I know his temperament, I kind of see why he would say something like that. So it doesn't hurt me probably as much as it would have had I never studied temperaments. So there's a part of me that knows that my son, first of all, he's young. He's in his early 20s, and he has a lot to learn about life. And so, in himself. And so you have to take that into account as well. But anyway, I certainly don't want to be self-righteous. And then just continue to find people to serve and share with us what you do. I'd love to see it. I'd love to read in the comments. If there's something you want me to talk about or any questions, feel free to ask, and I will answer them to the best of my abilities. And I'm going to cut this drive chat because it's getting too long. I want to watch Cheap RV Living today. He's going to do a live feed on living in a tent. And so I really wanted to see that, which I know I can watch the rerun or whatever it's called. I can watch it after the live feed. But I want to watch about living in a tent because I'm thinking about using my van in a tent until I can afford to get a pop-up. I still believe a small pop-up with air conditioning that's my main thing, air and heat, because I want to be able to go wherever and not necessarily follow the weather. So I'm anxious to watch Cheap RV Living in that. So find somebody to serve and you will find joy, and be blessed.